All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise and glory is unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yashai, Ba'ashim Rachakudash, that belong to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, hopeful elect. I have a video here. I'm going to try to keep it as concise as possible. I have I have an article and a video, and then I want to illustrate some things that are going on in the world today. And then as I illustrate these things, I'll apply it to moving forward in society as this place collapses. Okay, and this place is Babylon the Great, but also around the world. Okay, because the moral compass of the world is collapsing, and it's biblical prophecy. All right, and this is really a warning about women or to women, but it's also a warning to you men that have women. Okay, and why? And I'm not even going to connect the point of why 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, but that plays into this, and you'll see how. Okay, so that matter of fact, I am going to read that. Let me start with that. Bear with me. So I'm going to start with this one in Isaiah 32. I'm going to read it out the NLT, where it says, "Look, a righteous king is coming." Speaking of Yahweh Shai, right? "And honest princes will rule under him." Okay, and who are those righteous princes? This is the Israelites. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites that are out there, starting with the elect. Okay, the 144,000 and 1/3, and it starts with the men. It says princes there. Okay, so it's starting with the men. Okay, so you have to understand what this is like. Okay, the climate that'll be out there. Those that believe in Yahweh Shai, that righteous king that is coming, those will be the ones that are out there prophesying. Those are the ones that'll be have changed their conduct, that are moving with faith, that have repented, okay, and that are denying this this image of the beast system, okay. It reads on, each one will be like a shelter from the wind. Okay, each individual man will be like a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm. Okay, like streams of water in the desert and the shadow of a great rock in the parched land. Okay, it says, then everyone who has eyes will be able to see the truth, and everyone who has ears will be able to hear it, because those princes will have that testimony within them. Okay, and so it's going to be important. Those of you that are connected to these men. All right, couple more precepts. I read Isaiah 13 in the KJV, because as I read the NLT, it just said people. Now it's not just talking about people. Okay, so Isaiah 13 verse 12 in the KJV, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold." And it's not just any man, even though any man will be precious. Okay, particularly a man of the Lord, a man of the elect. Okay, of the 144,000 and even the 1/3. Okay, friends of the prophet, so on and so forth. These men that believe and that move and that are conduct themselves, they're going to be very precious. Okay, in this day. And if you read up in this chapter, let me finish this verse. It says, "Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." Okay. Well, here we go in the verse up. It says, "And I will punish verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the terribleness of the haughtiness of the terrible." Excuse me. And this is the thing. A lot of you women are proud, starting with you so-called Negro women, you Latino women, and Native women. Okay, you Jakes. And this, it's not to say that there's not white Jakes and there's not heathen women, but it's just a spirit. But our women, particularly the Israelite woman, really has nothing to be proud about. Okay, you got nothing to be arrogant about. Okay, you've been fed this Margaret Sanger women's liberation I could, my body, my choice. You've been fed this for so long that this is now generations deep, where you women really believe that that's the way it's supposed to be. And it's gonna be, and when Jacob's trouble comes, it's gonna be very harsh, and that's what time this is talking about. This is talking about Jacob's trouble. Okay, so all that is gonna go out the window when Jacob's trouble comes. All that pride and arrogance is gonna be gone. Look what it says in the NLT. I, the Lord, will punish the world for its evil and the wicked for their sin. I will crush the arrogancy of the proud and humble the pride of the mighty. Okay. Now, if I go to Isaiah 32, back in Isaiah 32, verse 9, listen, you women who lie around in ease. Listen to me, you who are so smug. Okay. In a short time, just a little more than a year now, that's what it's saying. But we don't know the time, okay, exactly. You careless one will suddenly begin to care, for your fruit crops will fail, and the harvest will never take place. Tremble, ye women of ease, throw off your complacency, strip off your pretty clothes, and put on burlap to show your grief. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, but the point is, there's a time of mourning to come when you. Now, I'm gonna grab that, Lord willing. I'll grab this other scripture as well. But let me show you a video of a couple of things that's going on, and this goes to the complacency, and this goes into the arrogancy of a lot of women that are in this time, right? And you women that believe, and even you men that believe, we see these articles, we see these things, and we're just like, we just shake our heads at it, right? But at the end of the day, we got to know that this is coming, and you may not feel the same way. Even though your woman may be trying to get over something, like trying to humble herself or not, or still stuck in her pride or whatever. When that day comes, you're gonna get tired of trying to give that warning, and because now is the time to take heed to the warning, not when the time is here, is before the time to prepare for it. All right, so let me show a couple videos.
Stop having sex for the next 4 years.
We do not care.
For the next 4 years, I am going to abstain from schmex with men.
Okay.
Me and my girlies are participating in the 4B movement.
4B movement. The 4B movement.
The 4B movement.
So what is it? The 4B's Korean for four no's. No marrying men, no giving birth, no dating men, and no sex with men.
Where do I sign? Where's the pen and paper? They think they're punishing conservatives. In reality, we're the ones that have been suggesting this and saying that if you don't want an unwanted pregnancy, simply don't have sex with men you're unwilling to have a child with.
A genius.
The men this will impact are the low-T, beta soy boy liberal men who only want to use women for consequence-free sex. And so I think these women are doing a great job. I salute them. I want them to stand up for themselves. They have my complete endorsement. As for me, I'm going to stick to dating conservative women because they already have these values. They seem a lot happier than these liberal women, and quite frankly, they're a lot more attractive.
Stop having sex for the...
Okay, so you've seen the video there, the 4B movement. Okay, but there's also something called MATGA. Okay, it says anti-Trump women, deadly new trend. Now, when you get into this deadly new trend, man, this is ridiculous. Okay, all because y'all can't be whores. That's really what you're fighting over, because you can't, because you got to have accountability now. Okay, and from what Trump has been saying, he's about to turn it all the way up. Okay, to where all this wild living, hey, it's time to change your ways, man. This is the same conduct that we're saying that when Jacob's trouble comes, that the Lord will reverence. Speaking of conservative conduct, okay, not sleeping around, choosing a viable male, or mate. You can't say certain shit, but yeah, women have choosing. I should just say men choosing the right woman, women vetting and choosing the right man, and vice versa, and then sticking to those values that make a situation work. Because our foreparents have failed us. meaning like some of our mothers and fathers, even grandparents and great grandparents, have failed to pass the values that are necessary down to our people. And I'm not concerned about what these Republican conservatives, these so-called white people, conservative Republicans are talking about. I'm talking about being a black conservative, because you've been fed this liberal lie that you just want everything to be so open that you can do whatever the hell you want. Well, no, there needs to be boundaries, and that's what the Bible's talking about. The book that you're supposed to be reading out of and supposed to be living by, to have a sense of boundary, a sense of wisdom, and then from there you would be blessed through the Spirit of the Lord. Okay, is the book that you hate. You tell a woman you can't eat lobster and shrimp. She don't know how to charge the right price to see if a man is worth it at dinner. And that's crazy, because hey, you're at dinner that he's probably gonna pay for. But you guys get so caught up in making sure you run the tab up. I couldn't find that video again, but there was a video I come across. Man, I couldn't find it. But there was a video I came across. A woman got upset because a man would not pay for her dinner when she wanted 6 different entrees. And and you saw these plates, there's no way she could have possibly finished all these plates. She ordered 6 different entrees. And he was like, I ain't paying for all this. Then she want to go and complain about it. No, that's not how this works. Our women have been taught this whore culture where she, harlot culture, I should even say it, where you want to receive a payment for your time or for your services. Okay, and you negotiate what that is. Well, men aren't into that. So this 4B movement is right up the alley. But watch what this MATGA thing is talking about for you men that ain't came across this, okay? I mean, I could play the video, but it's probably best I read it. In the wake of November the 5th election, right, Tuesday's election, some women frustrated by President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House are using centuries-old metaphor about women poisoning their husbands to channel their disappointment, caused a stir online. Poisoning their husbands. And MATGA is Make Aqua Tofana Great Again, or MATGA movement is a recent online trend in which some women humorously advocate for reviving aqua tofana, a 17th century poison used by women to kill and escape their abusive husbands. And I Googled it, but it's pretty much got it on here. Yep, it says aqua tofana, named after its alleged creator, Julia Tofana, was a deadly, undetectable poison used across Italy, gaining notoriety for its stealth and potency. Let me show you the Google. And this is AI overview, right? Which says, we saw that Sicily, which is a lot of Sicilians were Jakes, showing you how wicked the end up was, especially coming around the Renaissance period, where that time is at. You just didn't want to be in order. Okay, and I'm gonna grab, Lord willing, the Spirit allows, a couple scripture or two on that. Women hate being in order under the man, and it's in the curses. Okay, aqua tofana was created in Sicily around 1630 and was said to be widely used in cities like Palermo, Naples, Perugia, and Rome. The seller, Julia Tofana, a woman of Palermo, was said to be the leader of a group of poisoners in Rome and sold aqua tofana to women who wanted to kill their husbands. Okay, which that's a word we really can't use on this internet, but hey, unalive is what they use now, I guess. The purpose used to unalive their husbands due to domestic abuse and other violence at home. Now, here's the thing about it. Yeah, there's some bad men out there that are just, abusive, for no reason. They drink too much and they're abusive. You know, sometimes that's the case, but majority of the time that's not the case. Majority of the time is trying to get your woman in order at the end of the day. And because men and the laws can't allow men to do it now, or won't allow men to do it now, Jacob's trouble is gonna be what whoops you into order. Okay? Jacob's troubles is gonna be what whoops you into order. All right? And that's why I'm gonna grab that Isaiah 4. Okay? Tophania, the Adamo, who may have been Julia's mother, is said to have invented aquatophana. Okay? There are products related to that. Okay, whatever. T-shirts and shit. Who cares about that? I laugh at this because the more you women rebel, the harder the problem is going to be. Okay? The more you rebel, the harder it's going to be for you. Let me grab this one first. 1 Samuel 15, verse 23. Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshiping idols. Okay? And that's what happens, man. And that's what happens with you women. You women get mad when order comes around. I don't need no man. I'm strong. I'm independent. That's probably, well, I was gonna say, video games or some shit probably starts it off. But on the internet, particularly like YouTube or whatever, this red pill thing is like one of the most lucrative things going. Okay? Reaction videos and all of that, but really red pill. And we've been talking about red pill and reacting to people all over the internet for the longest time, man. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites have been doing it. But this red pill thing is all about shaming you women so you can see yourselves and get you back in order. You can go back, Tommy and Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit. Coach Greg Adams. There's a lot of names out there doing this. It's a wide spectrum that has now popped up, trying to counsel men on how to get women and how to bridge that gap again between a lot of women messing with a few men to where all the men can now come out and just be themselves, and women can just want regular and ordinary men. Well, that's not the case. The problem ain't the men anymore. The problem is the women. You've been over sexualizing yourselves. You've been putting yourself out for hire. Okay? And then you only want what you want. You never want what you need. Okay? And I don't mean never. You know what I mean. Okay? This is what you see. Majority of the women, they only want what they want. And what they usually want isn't the right thing that they need. Okay? What you need is to be in order. When that order comes, that's when the fulfillment of your purpose is now being met and reached, when you have the right man to guide you, to lead you in that order. Okay? And then purpose now is there, and then now your self-worth and all of that begins to grow. Okay? And now you feel a different fulfillment, because that's that joy that you feel. Now here's the problem with it. The joy that you feel is unmatched, but you don't even want to go in that direction because you're so concerned that you're gonna miss out on some BS. If a man or Lord came, you say, all right, shrimp, catfish, lobster and crab and all of these things are now off the table. Pork's off the table. Sleeping around's off the table. You start putting all these things, being out and drinking, covering up. You can't be showing your body all. I don't care what the temperature is. You start doing it. Oh, you control. They got all these other words for it. Well, another video that I'm going to show you is going to prove to you about what's really going on. And I can't even play the whole video. I'll try to put the link in the description if it'll allow. But, I'm going to show a little piece and I'll just kind of describe what's going on in there. All right? Because you women are mad, you're going to off your spouses. You that got them. And how many times have we seen women, famous women at that, talk about I wish I could be single still, or, get out there and do me. And like, whoa, you only say that because you think the grass is greener. Well, there's a lot of women that wish they could be you, and I don't mean to have the Boris Kojos and the Steph Currys and and all these women that they say they're willing to give up, to go and be wild out there, okay, and go do your thing. You start seeing the Vivica Foxes and the Lisa Rays, and you start thinking about like, whoa, these were some of the most prettiest women in the 90s. Now they late in their years and they used up and dried up, and it's like nobody want them. They couldn't find a man if a man hit them upside the head. And there's a man that'll get them now, but their value has so decreased that they're just gonna have to settle now, which is the anti-woman word to you women. I won't settle. Well, you're gonna have to settle. Settling down was a good thing years ago when you settled down. If you go into the ancient world, there was never an unsettled part of life for young women and men. You were always settled down. That was always the goal. You were out in your business life, trying to get your business off the ground, whether you was a fisherman, tent maker, a shepherd, whatever you were. You worked that, and then you build up some money, and then you purchased your wife from her family, and then y'all begin y'all business of a family, okay? And then that was it, and that was how you built your life. And it started young, teenage, and if you don't believe it's teenage, or you got an issue with it being in the teenage world, go ask your grandmamas and your great grandmamas when they got married and they started having children. And that's the age, teens, okay? And usually the ones that started that young had big families, which is a blessing, okay? Wasn't all this running around, I'm gonna be a thug for 7 years for the man, he think I'm gonna be from this hood for life. And the women, thinking they gonna run around from man to man, club to club, doing whatever the hell they want. It don't work that way, okay? And this is what the Lord is going to stop when it comes to Jacob's trouble, all right? Now, let me get into this video a little bit, and then I'll show some more scriptures. Before I go to the video, let me show you this. A man no longer wanted to go on a date with this girl because of her outfit, okay? As soon as I see that dye in the hair or that bleach or whatever, man, on a brown-skinned woman, I'm like, it's instantly a turn-off for me. Unnaturally colored hair, to me, screams mental disorder. All right? It says, was he wrong for this, or did he make a good point? Now, here's the text messages. She sent a picture of what she was wearing. And he says, it starts off, yes, I'm ready and dressed. Nah, shorty, I'm not going nowhere with you if you wearing that. What's wrong with it? What the F? I'm grown. And see, that be the issue. A lot of you jakes, not just the men, but just the women, but the men as well. A lot of y'all do childish shit and then jump behind age like I'm grown. Age don't make you grown. Responsibility and accountability make you grown. Okay, when you look around and say, I'm representing my family, I'm representing my household, my children, my parents. Okay, I may not walk exactly like they want me to, but I'm representing something more than myself. I represent who I work for, if that means something to you. I represent what I believe in. We as Hebrew Israelites, we understand we're walking around representing Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay, so we have to conduct ourselves accordingly. Okay, and the water Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for giving us the apostles that set us on a good path, that make sure that all the little details that we don't have to worry about gray area and trying to figure it out. Hey, you men shouldn't be having long hair. Okay, you women should have your hair covered up. You men shouldn't be wearing these types of pants or these types of shorts in these certain places, and y'all should be conducting yourselves in a serious manner, especially when you're out there teaching. Okay, giving us the guidelines that we need, right? So throwing that "I'm grown" out there don't mean that you're of age. And that goes into just a sidestep on this. A quick pivot is when we go into Deuteronomy 22nd chapter. A lot of you guys get caught up at the young age of a woman and when she gets married, not understanding that just because she was engaged and she can't be with. No, here's the problem. A lot of you simp ass fathers and single mothers don't want your daughter to only be with one man her whole life. That's the ultimate goal. Okay, she gonna be missing out. She ain't gonna have no. She ain't gonna miss nothing if she choose the right man. If you help her choose the right man. The problem is a lot of you women couldn't choose the right man for yourselves. So how are you supposed to choose the right man for your daughter without you falling for him? We see this shit happening as well. That's why the dads are supposed to be in the life, so they can look at the man, look at his family, her father who should be guiding her, and then make reasonable decisions. Okay? That's how it's supposed to go. So a stable mind and wisdom will be applied in this situation. Does that mean I don't care if you don't like him? No, you live with that. You deal with it. Okay, there's real life involved in that. What you think about such and such a son? He's getting older. He's, coming of age. You want to, what you think about that family? Well, okay, yeah, he's in my class, or he's a couple years older in my class, or a year or two under my class. It doesn't even matter. Okay, he's not ready yet, but I'll wait for him because he's on the football team. You start really putting this stuff into real life. Yeah, his daddy's a fisherman, so he know how to fish. He knows how to do these things. He believes. Okay, and that belief part is the part that's really gonna come into play. But you have to, as a father, you already have to have your daughter in order, and this goes for your sons as well. Okay, but particularly because of the video I'm gonna get to, and this image here shows you how out of order women just are. It's just I don't want to say naturally, but it's just an understanding that women don't be in order nowadays and want to jump behind. I'm grown. You ain't grown. If this is how you think you're going out, this is for when we get back after the nightcap after the date. This is what you wear at the nightcap after the date, on our last date before our wedding. Okay, our first date, and then this is the nightcap, and then we go get married tomorrow type thing. Once we hit it off the right way, we hang out with clothes on the right way, and then you start revealing this, and then we be like, let's go and make this really happen before we even consummate. That's how it's supposed to happen. But now men want to test the product out because she didn't let Tom, Dick, and Harry test the product out. Okay? And he don't know if he's the right one. Well, if she ain't shared it, this is for you women that don't understand this concept. This is why nothing is supposed to penetrate you before your husband does. Okay? That's what men want. If there's a question of what men want, that's what men want. Okay? That's why it's in the scriptures that way. So I'll digress away from Deuteronomy 22, because that's what it's talking about. Okay, and the scriptures also say, don't let thy daughter be a harlot in thy house. Okay, so she got to go off and do her own thing, or you supposed to put, if she was betrothed, she did something weird, man, went and slept with somebody else, you supposed to be the first one to cast a stone and put her down. Okay, but that's not what this video is about. With this video, as I pivot back to the video, walking around like this. Now watch I'm going to read the rest of this, but watch when I tie this next video into it, okay? It said, this is the man saying this to her after she said, I'm grown. What's wrong with it? I'm grown. You got to be mentally delusional or ill or insane or something to think that this is okay to dress that way in public at all. It's a certain way you should want to present yourself. That ain't it. Trash. I'm good. I have on a dress. See, this is a dress. True. But it ain't the bottom part of the dress that's the problem. It's the uncovered part that's the problem. I have on a dress. What's not presented with it? Yeah, you're presenting everything that should be cut, that shouldn't be presented. The present is unwrapped already. Okay? I'm confused. And you see? A lot of times women like this, I'm telling you, the hair be the dead giveaway. The tats, the hair, like all the extreme tats. I don't mean if you got one or two or whatever and they in cute spots or whatever. I ain't really into them like that. But if that was the case, that's whatever it is. But when you just got them all up your neck and across your chest and all down your arms, of course you're going to want to show that off. All on your thigh, inner thigh, outer thigh. If you just stomach and you just got them all these places. Who is that for? Who is that for? Okay? Because it's for you. It's because you think that now gives you an excuse to show these things off. Okay? And here and who wants to show something to one person? That's why when you go on these Instagrams and these different TikToks or whatever, and these women are showing half their bodies off, that's what they have. They have these tats. And what's funny, people don't even look at the tattoos no more. They just see ink, and that's all that matters. Ink and some type of rhythm on their body, and that's just all it means. Nobody reads nothing that the words say. It has no meaning to the average person. The pictures are cryptic. Nobody gets it. Okay, you might have something across here, a skull there, or whatever. It's a bunch of BS, man. Nobody even pays attention. Everybody's noticing that you have ink on your flesh more than what it actually is and what it means. When I met somebody, I was like, what does that mean? I could see what it was. Like, what does that mean to you? And they were like, oh, well, I thought it was cool. I thought it looked good. Oh, for real? That's why you got your whole arm tatted up? Yeah, I kind of wish I wouldn't have got it because I wish you wouldn't have got it either. But then they said, well, I'm going to get more. Some of them, I want to get more. You got to start thinking how the mentality really looks. And I'm talking to you men now when you're choosing out of these women, because the choices that you're going to have to discern when Jacob's trouble hits, because like I said, eventually I'm going to get to that Isaiah 4, and you're going to realize that you're not going to want to take on that type of trouble. This right here, look, she can be Muslim wrapped with that hair under there. I ain't rolling with it. I'm good, like he said, right? It says, I have a dress on, says, I'm confused. Niggas never had an issue spending money on, look at this. Niggas never had an issue spending money on me, regardless of what I wore. She's concerned about the money that's being spent on her, regardless what she wears, and wonders why he had class enough. Bravo to you, bro. Whoever this guy is, bravo to you. I'm a little disappointed that you made the choice and that you didn't see through it in the first place, but I'm glad you caught it before it was too late. Okay? I'm good on that. Enjoy your night, though. What the fuck? Weird as hell. Yeah, K. Yeah. Weird? No, you weird. You weird for that. Okay, now let me get to this video finally. Okay, this is it here, and it's still fair use, right? As I had at the beginning of the video. Now I'm gonna let the intro kind of hit so you understand the situation. Then I'm not even gonna play the video. I'm just gonna skip ahead. Okay, and show you a couple images out of it, right? Watch.
Groping her breast. He says she's lying. Officers use surveillance. This woman accused this man of groping her breast. He says she's lying. Officers use surveillance footage to figure out which one is telling the truth.
I was just walking by and he reached in my shirt and grabbed my boob.
Right? And this is what cops and everything. Look how she's dressed. Now all I'm fast forwarding to is to show you how she's dressed. Okay. And her friends are dressed that way. Okay. You women think this is a game. Okay. Look at how y'all dressed. This cop's going to go check out the footage. And I don't know if he's a Jake or not, but Jake did that, man. You know. But look, I'm going to play it because they're about to show it.
So we're parked right there on Charles, and then we see them all yelling and stuff, and we're like, what's going on? And then he's going to get arrested, right? Yeah, she wants to press charges.
Right there, boom.
This is going to be perfect.
Let me back it up a little
bit
for
sure.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yep. Boom. But more importantly, look how she's dressed. I mean, not the most appealing woman. The Jake woman from the other image, going on a date was physically more appealing. But hey, all y'all food at the end of the day. When this comes down to it, all y'all are food. Like Jake didn't want to go to jail. When you go back to here, look, her and her friends. See how far back I can get with her friends. Okay. See if I can go back a little further. She's there. Now she's crying about it. Here's her friend walking up. Yeah, they're half naked, man. What are y'all doing? I don't care what the temperature is. You shouldn't be like this. You should be in order. And when Jacob's trouble comes, for you women paying attention and you men that don't have a heart to tell your woman to cover up and mean it and to execute, I don't want to say a punishment. I'm not saying a punishment in that sense, but hey, we ain't doing this then. Okay? If you've already lost, hey, the woman, the mother of my children, my oldest children, man, it was cool. She understood in the beginning, as far as, not doing too much. I didn't have full understanding. It was before the truth. And then as I was coming to the truth, I mean, the respect thing that had been gone both directions. But we didn't respect each other. Okay? And things that had happened between us and so on and so forth, to the point where, I just didn't care what she did. I was trying to find a way out. As I got in the truth, man, and I saw my way out and I found the evidence that I needed to get out, and I was gone. The scripture said a righteous man shall be able to escape from her. And that's in Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, right? He who pleases the Most High shall escape from her, because her hands are as bands and minds are snares and nets, something like that, right? So if this is how your woman dresses and you're okay with it, the problem's you, men. The problem's you. If this is how your woman dresses and you're not okay with it, hey, you shouldn't be with that woman. You have to take the L in whatever situation y'all got, whether it's the kids or whatever. You got to take the L. The best situation is and if you leave your woman, she's not gonna allow you to take the kids because that's the power over you. But she's already displayed the power over you. That's where I was at. Okay, so there's ways to escape. The Most High will make a way for you to escape, according to 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, the 10th chapter, the 13th verse. They'll find a way for you to escape, okay? There's always a way, and usually it's the hardest situation. You're going to take the low. You're going to take the L, okay? But you got to be all right with that because you're doing it for the right reasons, all right? And the more you do that and you don't want them, guess what? They're either going to humble down and get correct, or they're going to run off and do their thing and keep drifting further and further away from you. Okay, which I'm telling you, on the way out, they're usually gonna try to put hell on you if you're in a situation like that. But with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding we get from the scriptures, matter of fact, let me get that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 14, straight to the point. You can read up and see 12 is speaking about wisdom. It says 14, whoso seeketh her early, meaning wisdom, shall have no great travail. If in the discerning process you're using wisdom in the early stages, if you see these red flags like, nah, sweetie, I'm good. You dressing like that, nah, this is over. You have a good one and move on. Now, she can change her ways. You're talking about that one woman, she might want to change her ways. He may take her back. But any sign of that is using wisdom. If she's going to even consider dressing that way ever, hey, she ain't the one. She's only going to bring you travail in your life in some way, shape, or form. That out of order thing is the sin of witchcraft, and it's like a demon, especially when you check it. I'm grown. Okay, you be grown by yourself. Go find another man that'll do that. I'm sure there's takers out there. Go enjoy that. But Jacob's trouble, JT is going to solve all of these issues. It says, for he shall find her sitting at his doors. Okay. For it says to think upon her It's perfection of wisdom to really consider, you know what, let me ask all these questions. Let me test her and see what she gonna do before. And then soon as you see something moving in the wrong direction, and she don't stop and think about what she may do and try to make it and take the obvious, you don't want to make it to where there's no way out. For her, you want to give her options. Would you do this or would you do that? And then, or you just see kind of what she say. If she goes into this way instead of that way, and the wrong way instead of the right way, hey, there you go. That's the red flag you needed. Okay, and when you see that red flag, get out. All right? That's not when you stick around and, oh, maybe she'll change. All of that, that's for the birds. Believe me. Okay, the apostles and the elders have warned us in so many ways. And then, just living life and experience will teach you in so many ways, But the experience is the best teacher, they say. But also a hard head makes a soft ass. Okay, and I think the brother put me onto a scripture. I can't think of where it's at. If anybody watches this video may know where the precept is, you can leave it in the comments. It says, how's it go? Basically what it's talking about, but it might just be a worldly quote. I don't remember, but it's something of the lines of a wise man. A wise man, how's it go? Dang it. Lives by his experience, or a smart man or a good man, or I forgot how to. But a wise man lives by others' mistakes. Takes heed. A good man takes heed from his mistakes, or something like that. But a wise man, let me see if I could Google that. Bear with me. Funny, and I got this one, which I knew this one. I didn't think this was it, but like it may just be a worldly statement. But anyway, AI Overview says, according to the King James Version of the Bible, the concept of a wise man learning from others' mistakes is most closely reflected in Proverbs 12, verse 15, which states, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man hearkeneth unto counsels. May even be another translation, right? Explanation. While the verse doesn't explicitly say learns from others' mistakes, it emphasizes the idea that a wise person actively seeks advice and listens to counsel, which would naturally include learning from the experiences of others and errors of others. Okay? Like it may actually be in another translation. Let me check real quick. Well, yeah, so a couple of these are good. I'll just hit them real quick. And this is what this video is about, even still on point, speaking to you women. I'm showing you the ideas that men aren't going to want to deal with you if you're not an asset unto them. Okay, that's always what we're looking for. It's not just some men want that trophy and that's for whatever. If you're the trophy and you just look good and you just got to stand there and show up and be pretty when you show up, hey, great. If that's what your life is all about, great. You enjoy that, and let's see, hopefully you make it on the chariot. If not, for the rest of you, hey, let's see how this turns out. This is what men want. This is what it's all about, okay? They want you to be an asset unto his enterprise, not unto your own thing, unto his enterprise, whatever that may be. Lighten my load so I can teach this word. Help with these things. Be a help, something, be a benefit to me. Okay, I'm going to be a benefit unto you just because of my presence alone is a benefit. It don't work the same because the difference of presence, you bring drama, I bring security, men to women. This is not trying to make this to a red pill video, but this is the reality of it. And men know this, and this is what we see. And these are the same men that you're going to be begging. As I read the scriptures in Isaiah earlier, the 32nd chapter particularly, and in the 13th chapter, are going to be begging men for aid and security and help. Okay? 1 Corinthians 10 and 11 says, all these things happen unto them as examples, and they were written for our admonition. Okay, and this is what this video is. So as these things are happening in a time where there's running water and there's police around, which we saw the police presence and the security and all of that, that looks great. But there's a time where all this is going to shut down. There's going to be utterly the purge and chaos outside. Okay, what are you going to do then when you can't call 911, when you can't scream for help and help comes, when you scream and help doesn't come, but more problems, more issues. Okay. All right. So that hit the point on that. All right. Isaiah 13, and I'm gonna start up at verse 15. And then I'm gonna hit one in the Apocrypha, and I'm just hit a bunch of precepts pretty much from here on out. Okay. Isaiah 13, verse 15 and 16. It says, "Everyone that is in the KJV, but you can read for yourself the NLT, especially the 16th verse." Okay, it says, "Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children shall also be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." Okay, and you see what that means. Now, I don't care if that's some of your fantasies. It's not going to be your fantasy when that comes around. Okay. That ravishing is only wonderful when it's the man that you choose. When it's not the man that you choose, that you want, okay, then it's a major problem. Well, that's coming. That's coming. Hey, and a lot of these times, that's not just gonna be the situation. They may take you and eat you. Because cannibalism's coming around as well. And that's all part of the scriptures. Okay. So let me get a couple other ones. So you can see in this 53rd verse of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it's talking about that. Okay, cannibalism is what it's talking about. All right, I'm not going to read that, but I'm going to read 55. Or if you don't 56, you can. I'm letting pause until you can read these. What this is showing you how even men aren't going to have any camaraderie. Okay, and this ties into biblical. This is a curse that is going to tie into biblical prophecy as well. So I will read it in the NLT. It says, "The most tender-hearted man among you will have no compassion for his own brother, his beloved wife, and his surviving children." Right? He will refuse to share with them the flesh of his. He is devouring the flesh of one of his own children. Cannibalism. Okay, because he has nothing else to eat during the siege and terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on you in your towns. Okay, 56. "The most tender and delicate woman among you, so delicate she would not so much as touch the ground with her foot, will be selfish toward her husband she loves and toward her own son or daughter. She will hide from them the afterbirth and the new baby she has born, so that she herself can secretly eat them. She will have nothing else to eat during the siege and terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on all your towns." Okay? Now let me go to the prophecy. 2 Ezra 15, verse 16. "For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." That's speaking of martial law. Why? Why would there be martial law? Because there's going to be chaos. That purge Jacob's trouble situation. Okay, "For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled," right? "The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." Okay? So this is going to be going on. So if this is happening to the men, what do you think is going to be happening to you women? All right? And then you think you could just go out there and dress like that. Okay? This is why you rebelling now. You men got that's witchcraft and idolatry, man. Let that witch go and get the thing. And the scriptures also say, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." Hey, let the Most High deal with them. Let that go on off and let another man be their problem. Okay? Because We're trying to get you women in order for this now. Y'all gonna appreciate how strict Great Millstone has been in that day when you see why we were doing it, when you understand why we were doing it, and your obedience will be rewarded. Here we go with this shit. Okay, your obedience will be rewarded. Okay, as our obedience will be rewarded from Yahweh Shema Shai, He will allow us to reward you with your safety, with your food. Okay, so on and so forth. All right, I got more. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 31. Even so, in those days shall there be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Modern day sword is a gun, okay, or some type of killing instruments. It could be robots, all kinds of things. Now that's how sharp this man's sword is now gotten. Okay, the earth shall be laid waste, and fields shall wax old in her ways, and her paths shall grow full of thorns. Meaning, no one's going to be passing on these ways. When you see these shows and these movies of apocalyptic type events, zombie apocalypses, and so on and so forth, until the missiles hit, like the one I was thinking, like The Road, and the other one was The Walking Dead. When they show the freeway, hey man, you can see grass and weeds growing through the cracks of the streets, and you know, that was some real situation. That almost was trying to happen here in the cities when when the lockdown came around, right? Almost said it. It says because no man shall travel there through. The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Okay, in the wars and in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So if they've already gone through it, what do you think your chances are? Okay, this is why being obedient under a man of the Lord is important. But at least if a man of the Lord don't want you, at least get yourself in order. And you want to think that MATGA, Aqua Tofana, and all of these things is the answer? Okay, you think that's the answer because you want to throw a tantrum about my body, my choice ain't going to be there? When you misinterpret what's really going on because you can't unalive your own seed because you were irresponsible with your sexual life? Okay? Well, it's because all these children, and see, they're trying to depopulate, so they don't just want a bunch of babies. Then they definitely don't want a bunch of babies sucking up the system. Okay? That's what it's about. And you women are whining and crying about that because you're going to want all this help because you got all these children, but there's no man to take care of them and work. Okay? And you expect the system, well, he's cutting that off. America needs to reallocate their resources. They can't just be feeding the people forever. They got wars to fight, okay? Wars to lose. They still got to fight on them, though. All right, and you people aren't even considering the world at large. You're complacent, okay? So these times are coming around, and you're going to have to deal with them. All right? This was supposed to be the first scripture. This is one of the last. Isaiah 4:1. I'm going to read it in the NLT. In that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man. Why? When you read the scriptures that I've read, hey, there's only going to be a few. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is going to be upon them. But there will be some other regular men that are surviving to this point. Some will be the friends of the prophets that are not of the 144,000, and some will be the those that are waiting to catch a missile. Okay? Like that'll just a harsher judgment. At the top of that is the missiles being the worst, or being zapped by Yahushua and the chariots, right? It says, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. And all that sharing that a lot of y'all don't want to do now is going to be so rough that you're going to be glad to share. Okay, we will provide our own food and clothing. And look, you ain't got to spend nothing on me. Just your presence alone will be good enough. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. And that sounds good. Yeah, it may be hanky-panky. Man may want all of that and may afford those situations. But if it's that dire, it may not be that situation. We don't know exactly the spirit that the Lord is going to have on us in that day, but we understand how it's going to play out by what he says. Okay, the judgments that his prophecies have. We see those things. So you're going to be humbled to this. And we know Jacob's trouble is going to be the thing that humbles you. I got another one right quick. And look what it says in verse 2. But in that day the branch of the Lord shall be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the land shall be the pride and glory of all who survive in Israel. Okay? Let me go back to this other, because those will be the people that'll help restore. But let me get this. Jeremiah 30. I'll start with verse 6. I'll read NLT. Now let me ask you a question. Do men give birth to babies? Then why do they stand there ashen-faced, right? Hands pressed against their sides like a woman in labor? Because they're going to be so afraid. In all history, there has never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people Israel. Yet in the end, they will be saved. I'll read it in the NLT, in the KJV, verse 6. Ask now and see whether a man do travail with child. Whether do I see every man hold it with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. And I like that to say, like, as if they seen a ghost, they're so scared, right? All the blood left their face. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that it is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. But who's the he shall be saved out of it? The elect men. Okay, and those of their families that are connected to those elect men. Okay? That order has to be there. All right? And if you don't like order, hey, man, in the scriptures, even in Paul broke it down, it's all over the scriptures, man, that you're supposed to be in order. Matter of fact, I'll get a quick one. 1 Timothy chapter 2. I'm going to read, like it says, women instructed at verse 9. But I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, I want women to be modest in their apparel. Okay, modest, not. Let's look at the word modest real quick. Matter of fact, we'll look it up in the scriptures. Modest apparel. Modest pops up. Modest. Cosmios. Okay. Well arranged, seemly, modest. Okay, well arranged, of good behavior. Modest, okay. Of good behavior, modest, orderly. Okay. Decorous. What a word. See if there's anything else. I don't think so. All right. Well-ordered life. Okay, meaning you move the right, your conduct is right as well. It's not just about how you dress, but your conduct is right as well. Okay? And what order is that? That's the order of the Heavenly Father. We should know that order, particularly from 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. I shouldn't have to grab that one. It's 11 at the top, and you read down, it goes right into order. All right? But it says, and modest in their appearance, they should wear decent and appropriate clothing and not draw attention to themselves by the way they fix their hair or by wearing gold or pearls or expensive clothes. Okay? But that's exactly what you see. That woman wanted to wear that dress because she wanted the attention. Okay? As I read on, it says, for women who claim to be devoted to the Most High should make themselves attractive by the good things they do. Which connects right to the Apocrypha in Sirach where it says, not marvel. What's the word it uses? Sirach 25 verse 21. Stumble, not marvel. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman. And that's funny because you stumble, you're about to fall. Stumble not, basically don't fall in love with the looks of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Okay? That's not the number one purpose for women. The problem is, you women, since you've been running and controlling relationships, this is how you've made it set up now, that you fall in love with my looks and the only thing I'm offering is pleasure. And when I'm done, I cut you off and I've conquered you, and now I'm moving on to the next one. Okay, that lifestyle is gonna come up short at the end of the day. Okay, it's probably already starting to, as you know, if I showed you what Vivica and what's her name looked like, you know, there was a video I just came across where they're talking about them brothers. I think had posted it. Yeah, man, you see the condition they're in. They were young and beautiful. You know, who knows what they were in their life before, but now that they're up in age, they're not. You know, their stock is dropped. They probably they be hard pressed to get a plumber that had his own business. Okay, you better go get a man from Kenny Shoes or somewhere. All right, be happy to have somebody that's happy to have you. And at the end of the day, the men that you think you want, the 50 cents and those entertaining, high profile men, nobody wants you no more. They got the big money, no. Them men don't want you no more. Okay, believe it. Anyway, going back, I read the 10th verse again in 1 Timothy, the 2nd chapter. It says, "For women who claim to be devoted to God should make themselves attractive by the good things they do. Women should learn quietly and submissively. I do not let women teach men or have authority over them. Let them listen quietly." Okay, and that be the first thing. Y'all always want to share your minds and tell what you think. Well, we're not teaching you what we think. We're teaching you the order and what the Heavenly Father says. Okay? And trust me, groping you won't be the worst thing that happens to you. Ravishing you won't be the worst thing that happens to you. I read them cannibal scriptures for a reason. Yeah, it sounds good as it being for children, but when you study up what happened in 70 AD, hey, it changes, man. Okay, and this is another version of 70 AD that's coming around. Okay, another version of the abomination of desolation from the Greek period as well is coming around. Okay, read into those histories what the Israelites went through. All right. Anyway, verse 13 says, "For the Most High made Adam first, and afterward he made Eve. And it was not Adam who was deceived by Satan or the serpent, right, which was a man. The woman was deceived, and sin was the result." Okay? And that's how that came about. So there's a reason why you should be shamefaced and not wanting attention, not being up in everyone's face, not looking for better ways out and other men to hop on. Because, hey, one thing about that lifestyle that Jake lived, that hopping around, sleeping around lifestyle, hey, women, as you think you're upgrading and you'll give it to the next one and the next one and the next one, that attitude of being loose like that energy's on you. Why do you think the next man wants you? He'll have, especially if he can get you quickly. You looking at it like, this is my only chance to get him. He looking like, this is my only chance that I want her. It's the only time that I want her. Okay? And you thinking you're getting on to something better, and he's like, man, I just want to get in and get on. Okay, there's a better way to conduct yourself, a righteous way to conduct yourself for this to happen the right way. All right, last scripture, and I'm going to close. Okay. This is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And I love this scripture because the duality is beautiful. Right? He said to him, who he said to him? That's an angel. Okay. "Walk through the streets of Jerusalem to the people of Jerusalem, people before us a place, and put a mark on the foreheads of all who weep and sigh because of the detestable sins being committed in their city. And what's that mark? The mark of exemption. That's the Thawa. I'll hit it right quick just for you. Click on the Thawa right quick so you can see. We bring this out all the time. It's not always that Thawa, okay? Thawa. All right. Thawa right there. Look. Mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. Desire mark. And when you go into the mark of the beast, MOTB, that mark is a mark of judgment. Okay? That mark brings judgment. This is a mark of exemption from judgment. And that's a Greek word, charagma, right? Let's see what the root says, just to be thorough. To scrabble, limit, marks, make or set a mark, to mark. Yeah, Thawa. All right. So this is that same man of the Lord, that elect man, that you women should be able to discern. And when you find him, and the one that you know, whether you see him on the street corners, whether you see him, you know, or you believe, or you like this guy, and you hey, let me show you something, and you bring him to the, you know, send him out. They be on this corner out in Vegas, or by Fremont, or they be out in these cities, and you send the man that you like, and y'all starting to fall in love, whatever. Send him out there to the prophets, and pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua that is for him. Okay. You know, now there's other rules to the situation. If he don't believe, that don't mean break up. If y'all please to dwell with one another, or for you men, vice versa. But one of you need to be involved in this thing, all right? And it would be of great benefit if the man can guide the house in that righteous way. But you got to be able to discern those good qualities in men, okay? And men, you got to make yourselves worth something. That's why we're cleaning ourselves up and repenting through the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and using wisdom. Okay, you can't sit around and just play Madden all damn day. You can't sit around and smoke weed and drink beer and liquor all day and just be unproductive. Okay, there's other things we got to do. There's things that's more important. Yeah, just because you go to work don't mean that you're living the right way. Now, if you do live a simple life, hey, that's a good start. Okay, not to say that you can't enjoy yourself and have a drink or whatever, or enjoy the game or whatever. But there's more to it, and tapping into this wisdom, you know, and really grabbing on a hold of it and staying on it and being locked in with it is really to your benefit. All right. Reading on verse 5, this is where it gets tough. Right? In the NLT still it says, "Then I heard the Lord Yahweh say to them, the other men, follow him through the city and kill everyone whose forehead is not marked. Show no mercy, have no pity. Unalive all them," I'm trying to remember to use that word, "old and young, girls and women and little children." See it? Okay, but do not touch anyone with the mark of Thawa. Let's just prove it. Still talking about the Thawa. All right, just to be thorough. Thawa, you see it over there. Still 84:20. All right. Begin right here at the temple. So they began by unaliving the 70 leaders that were in power at the time. Okay. But this just goes to show you, hey, no one's going to have pity on you just because I'm a girl. No one's going to care. Look at any of these wonderful movies. Only one that had a little, well, even in the book of Eli, if he didn't step in, if there wasn't a Carnegie in the order, like once Carnegie went down, another man took that blind woman. That's the part they won't bring up. Another man possessed that blind woman. Okay? That's the type of mode that's going on. Okay, the fantasy part is when the girl that made it all the way thought she was just going to go back and walk back to wherever she thought she was going. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. Okay, well, who you thought you was working with, or what spirit you thought you had on you. But more importantly, you made it so far because of Eli. Okay? So this is just a show of how the conduct and the way that a lot of you women are moving, Hey, man, you're not using wisdom. You're not discerning the times. You're not watching what's going on. And just because you think somebody groped your breast and reached right in your shirt or whatever and and got a handful, in a cookie jar, you think you can just tell the police. Well, the police ain't going to be concerned in that day. Okay? Imagine when they're not around and people are hungry and people, man, times are way tougher. It's already getting bad. They didn't mix in a lot of these migrants. Y'all better hope that DJ Trump could try to clear all of them out in a timely manner. But even still, that doesn't change the dynamic that's going to happen here in this country and around the world. Okay, so Lord willing, this was edifying. Give all praise and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai. Until the next one, I say Shalom.